A huge rise in Tesla stock prices over the past month has made them positive for the year and even made the case for getting back into the Mag 7. Deirdre Bosa is having a more in-depth look at what has changed at the core level. Today's tech check comes from Deirdre Kelly. The price of stocks has gone through the roof, but the basics haven't changed much. In fact, their sales and earnings growth this quarter are likely to be much lower than that of the other 6 mega caps. Even though it's back in the Magnificent 7, Tesla is the only one whose revenue growth is expected to slow down this quarter. Its earnings growth is expected to slow down even more, by 34%. In the past month, Tesla stock has gone through a huge rise. Tesla stock has gone up again, and it is now up for the year. I'll talk more about that soon, but first, bears always come out when Tesla stock goes up to say that the company is overvalued. This has been said for almost 15 years. Tesla is going through some big changes. Before we go into the specifics, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to Tesla Stock News. Let's get started. Tesla stock went up 27% last week, making up for all the losses in 2024. But our next guest thinks that Tesla will have the same problems next year, with more competitors. Tony Sacconaghi is a senior research analyst at Bernstein. He should speak. With a price goal of $120 per share, Tony thinks Tesla is not doing as well as it should. That's right, $120 a share. To give you an idea, Tesla's stock is worth more than twice that amount right now. Tony has written about Tesla for almost 10 years. In the beginning of 2017, Tesla stock was worth $16 per share after the split. By October 2019, the stock wasn't going anywhere, so Tony told people to hold on while others bought a lot as the price doubled. He kept telling them to hold. Around this time, this YouTube site began to give hints about Tesla's abilities. After the stock price went up, Tony told everyone to sell. Tony thinks Tesla is worth only half of what it's worth now. For example, Tony said to hold on to Tesla stock in July 2020, when it was $96 a share. Tesla has grown its business by a huge amount since then. Tony, do you really think that the value of the business hasn't gone up in the last 3 years? Tony's predictions about Tesla have been wrong. He has told investors to hold on to their shares when they should have been buying and selling for more than 3 years. He has never told anyone to buy the stock, not even when it was almost $100 a share. Hey Tony, Tesla has had a great run. Its stock price went up 25% last week and almost 40% in the last 2 weeks. It's selling at 125 times earnings, even though deliveries are down 5% this quarter and 9% last quarter. This is because results were better than expected. There is hope for changes and excitement about an event in early August with robotaxis. Ask yourself this: do you think Tony sees Tesla as just a car company? His statements are mostly about delivering vehicles. Will he talk about Tesla's chance to make robotaxis, AI progress, or the future of life like robots, or does he only see the company as a car maker? Tony says that the stock's rise is a mime and that the valuation is not based on truth when he talks about his $120 per share target. This is an easy way to get away. He blames retail investors, calling it a meme stock bought without financial sense, even though he has lost 10 to 15 times his money since reviewing the stock. But if you keep making the same point and the market doesn't agree with you for almost 10 years, you might be wrong. How long should we wait before we tell Tony that he might not understand how much Tesla is worth? 6 months? Maybe a year? But it's time to think again after 10 years. A lot of stocks lose touch with reality at times, like the SPAC craze, but they usually get back on track quickly. Since then, many of those stocks have dropped by 92 to 99%. Tony's defense is that his point that the valuation doesn't match reality might make sense if Tesla were just a car business. But Tony seems to be the one who isn't in touch with reality. Even though the company should have made $7 this year based on factors, most analysts now think it will only make $2, but the stock price is still high. It's all about how excited people are about possible future changes and exciting news like the robotaxi. Tony says that stock prices are usually linked to future cash flows, and he thinks that Tesla's earnings, cash flow power, and present share price don't match up. If Tony didn't think that self-driving cars and robo-taxis would make a big difference in Tesla's future cash flows, he probably wouldn't have set his goal at $120 per share. Hey, you know cars, right? Someone must have thought when they threw Tesla at Tony 10 years ago, "You can have this one." Tony says it's only a car company over and over again. But you have to admire Tony's strong beliefs. He sticks to his price goal even though it means missing out on huge profits because he thinks he's correctly valuing the company. He always says the wrong thing, but he's constant. Tony knows that he would change his outlook and price goal if Tesla became the leader in self-driving cars or built a successful humanoid robot business. He doesn't think that will happen though. Self-driving cars are still a long way off, and he thinks Tesla won't be the only company to solve the problem. Tony doesn't believe Tesla's progress with full self-driving, FSD, and doesn't pay attention to the many videos of people driving for long amounts of time without using their hands. He says that the software's features don't matter since Tesla isn't officially driving self-driving cars anywhere. But Tesla could probably set up geofencing so that their cars could drive themselves in small places, like some San Francisco blocks, if they wanted to. They haven't asked the government for permission yet because they want the spread to be as safe as possible. The real problem is that Tony's research doesn't take into account how far Tesla's self-driving technology has come and how much it could grow. He only looks at his numbers and doesn't see the bigger picture. Tony might finally see the light once Tesla gets governmental approval, but until then, he's missing out on the big steps forward that Tesla is making right in front of him. Tony keeps saying that Tesla won't be good at fully autonomous driving. He doesn't think the company will be able to get the exclusivity it needs to justify its high value. However, pay attention to what Tony says now that he can add Tesla to his list. Let's keep our attention on Tesla's price rise and more news from CNBC. This rise is big enough to make the stock positive for the year, which could help it get back into the Magnificent Seven. Tesla's fundamentals haven't changed much, even though the stock price has gone up a lot. In fact, in this quarter, sales and earnings growth are projected to be much lower than those of the other 6 mega caps. Tesla is the only one of the Magnificent Seven whose sales growth is expected to slow down this quarter. Earnings growth is expected to drop by 34%. Tesla shares are rarely driven by economics though. It's all about progress and the promise of big steps forward in technology that only Musk can make. Now that Tesla seems to be back on track, it's very important for the company to explain its AI plan, especially NVIDIA's part in it, when it reports on July 23rd. Since a few years ago, Tesla has bought and used tens of thousands of NVIDIA GPUs to build a strong AI hub. Not long ago, Musk revealed that he sent some of those GPUs to his private companies X and xAI instead of Tesla. Even though there were some false stories, Tesla couldn't use the GPUs right away because the infrastructure wasn't ready. Musk said that Tesla's facilities for these GPUs were still being built, so the GPUs were sent to xAI so that they could be used right away while Tesla takes the next spot. Musk gave an update on July 4th, saying that the building of Tesla's supercomputer cluster at Gigafactory was almost finished. In other words, Tesla couldn't have used the GPUs earlier because the technology needed to do so wasn't ready yet. Here's a different story we're keeping an eye on this morning. tsla stock is moving up and down right now. The company that makes electric vehicles is taking a break after a 9th day of gains on Monday. So far this year, the stock has lost money, but it has been winning lately. Since late April, when they hit their lowest point, shares have gone up more than 75%. Musk will almost certainly stress that Tesla is an AI company as well as a car company during the results call. Investors will want to know what's going on with the AI plan and the GPU deployment. Also, the RoboCav event on August 8th is coming up in 1 month. Wedbush sees this as the start of a future where everything drives itself. It's important to note how well this fits with Tony's doubt. It's not clear to Tony how to get to independence, but Wedbush talks about opening the way for it. There is a big difference between people who are bearish and bullish on Tesla stock. It's a car company for bears and an AI company for bulls. Musk and his team need to explain what those GPUs are used for and how Tesla is an AI business. Deirdre, you make a very good point. Tesla's future depends on how well it can convince people of its AI and other technical advances, which Tony doesn't seem to get at all. As always, the next few months will be very important for Tesla's story and the direction of its price. Tony keeps saying that Tesla won't be good at fully autonomous driving. He doesn't think the company will be able to get the exclusivity it needs to justify its high value. However, pay attention to what Tony says now that he can add Tesla to his list. Tesla's future depends on how well it can convince people of its AI and other technical advances, which Tony doesn't seem to get at all. As always, the next few months will be very important for Tesla's story and the direction of its price. Tesla has made it clear that they will use these GPUs for their self-driving plan. To break it down, Tesla's upcoming event will probably be about their dedicated robo-taxi with a flexible manufacturing system that makes it easy to make many of them quickly, cheaply. No one can catch up to them because they have so much data and computing power. They might also show off a form of the robocab that people can use. It could be a two-seater or even a van that can fit 6 to 12 people. Some things might come as a surprise, but if we've been paying attention, we already know the main points. Now let's talk about the underlying changes, or lack thereof, that caused Tesla's stock to rise. The delivery numbers from last week were better than expected, but the high valuation doesn't make sense with the present growth rates. Tesla still has a lot of competitors, which hurts its growth and profits. This quarter, Tesla is the only one of the Magnificent Seven that is expected to see its sales growth slow down. Earnings are expected to drop 34%. Some people say Tesla doesn't fit in this tiny group, but let's be honest, the Magnificent Seven is just an idea. I think Tesla is the only company in its field. I can see it living up to this level of greatness in 10 years. Anyway, long-term Tesla owners who sold in a panic at $142 a share did not make the right choice. I've been here before, scolding panic sellers who lost money and names when Tesla's stock was unstable. If you think Tesla will grow in the long run, selling quickly during a fire sale is not a good idea. Finally, it's risky to try to time the market as part of your plan if you're not an expert at it. For the rest of us, it's important to be patient and think about the long run. Many of us already know that Tesla is more than just a car company. It's also a leader in AI and self-driving technology. The August event will likely make this even clearer. What do you think about these changes? Do you think the market will go up or down? Please tell us in the area below. Also, don't forget to join Tesla Stock News and like it. Enjoy your time, and we'll see you in the next film.